How do you do? It would be a little unkind to present this picture without just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live! Right. Fucking thing sucks!
We are doing it live. What the fuck is up, Denny's? Welcome to another very exciting episode of the Wyatt's Metal Podcast, the greatest, most professional, most consistent metal podcast out there. How's everybody doing? Hope you're all having a great week. I got to step on cue so you can see my YouTube trophy in the corner now because I'm a real YouTuber. We're really doing it, Red Band. How's everyone doing? Hope you're having a good metal time. It is getting hotter and brighter out, which means festival season is quickly approaching. Some people might have already gone to festivals. We just had Hell's Heroes took place that some people were asking me if I was there because I said that I was going to be there. And unfortunately, I was not. It just didn't work out with timing and money and everything. If it happened now, like literally the next week, I could have definitely done it. But that's life. But I hope everyone had a great time. I'm definitely hoping I can make it out there next year. And why don't we get to some comments really quick? A lot actually happened throughout the week. Unfortunate stuff. Starting with RIP to the great Chuck Norris. As you guys know, Chuck Norris himself completed life the other day. He got bored of humanity and decided to leave. Very unexpected. A literal meme died. That was crazy. I know it was a joke, but I think it did kind of seep into people of something like that's just something that's not possible. That Chuck Norris would fucking die. That sucked. Rest in peace to him. Honestly, I was really just a fan because of the jokes. I never watched his. I'm not that old where I watched his show, but the jokes were hilarious. How is everybody doing? I'm doing pretty good. I have been working nonstop on my next video coming up that is going to be called the Live Nation Files. And you guys remember last week we talked about the Live Nation trial and the leaked messages that came out between their employees. It shows how their corporate structure really works. And obviously I was reacting to it live. It's kind of a lot to go through and put together. So I'm making an actual video where I'm writing out the entire script. It's going to be very YouTube professional. But, oh man, have I been finding out a lot by going through that. I've been reading all of their messages. I've been translating their messages through AI to be like, what the hell does this actually mean? And Live Nation are some scummy scumbags. Get ready for that video. I have the feeling that it's probably not going to do that well because I don't know if my channel got like shadow banned or something, but the views have been, ever since I got the 100K subscriber plaque, views have been down a little bit on videos. So I'm wondering if they're going to do that again for the Live Nation one. Maybe it's Russian bots, Israeli bots doing it. But so when that video comes out, I would appreciate if everyone liked that one and shared it around because it's actually important. I'm trying to expose every single angle of these motherfuckers. Like if any politicians want to use my video to send them the alligator Alcatraz, I'm more than willing to send it to them. So Live Nation sucks, as we already know. That video will be coming up soon. I'm still in the process of finishing it. Wyatt Rocket in my new puppy Odorous, like the dude from Guar, should have a play date. I think you're trying to set up Rocket with the mystery stranger. He doesn't go for that. Black Metal Nazgul says, release the Nacho Files. We are definitely going to talk about that. The CY Fest in Los Angeles was supposed to take place. It was a punk, hardcore, underground festival event, and it got shut down due to allegations. And we're definitely going to go over that, don't worry. Whoop, whoop, it's wide o'clock. Everyone, do me a favor and like the stream. Share it to your friends. Share it to your enemies. Force them to suffer through it. Maybe they'll learn something. Lilith says, last week she said hi to Rocket and then fell asleep. I don't blame you. I feel like that's why everybody tunes in anyway. I ramble about metal shit no one listens to, and then the cat pops up. That's how it works. Wake up, guys. It is time for Wyatt. Let's get a motherfucking wake-up call here. Bramyen, I probably said that really stupidly wrong, says, what is up, everyone? Enjoying the Mick Arch burgers and $7 gas prices. I don't do any of that bullshit. I don't eat at McDonald's. That's disgusting. The last fast food place I was regularly going to was Taco Bell. But even then, I haven't been there in like a year or more at this point. I'm an adult now. You can't eat wrapper garbage slop anymore. And for $7 gas prices, gas is expensive. Yes, it is. I also remember when it was as expensive or more during COVID. And back then, the president didn't have any say on how gas prices worked. But now all of a sudden he does. I'm like, oh, okay. I think that there's no reason for the gas prices to be expensive at all. We just stole all the oil from Venezuela. What happened to that? Give Marco Rubio a shovel and tell him to bring back some goddamn oil. Be cheap for everyone. Everyone wins. I should be in charge of everything. When did Dark Insanity finally release their new song? No comment. How dare you? Don't bring up personal shit in the chat.
Boo this man!
It's still coming. It's coming soon. It has definitely been delayed longer than I wish it had, but it has. But it is actively being worked on and coming soon. Pause. Black Metal Nazgul, somehow $7 gas prices is Trump's fault. Like I said, it's his fault for not giving Rubio a shovel. Bring back the oil. What's up, Savior, and all his followers? All right, I got to jump ahead. We're going to get caught too far behind. Fuck the gas company. That's true. Yeah, fuck the gas companies pretty much. My general opinion on most political things is that I think there's solutions that everyone's ignoring for a lot of them. That too. Okay, fuck, where are we? This comments were going too fast. Jana Banana Rule says, are girls allowed in here? This is a metal podcast. You know none of us have ever been around a woman before. Why are you going to come make us uncomfortable in our safe space? This is a comfortable virgin incel metal space to be in. Why would you come fuck it up with your femininity? No, yeah, cool women are cool here. Explosive Lobster, that sounds concerning. Says, I saw Orbit Culture live on Friday and it was the most high energy, insane show I've ever been to. Got up front and still got to mosh and surf. I have not seen Orbit Culture yet, but I would fucking love to. I'm sure it's amazing live. Yeah, they're one of the new bands I came across that really fucking impressed me and blew me away. So that's fucking cool. Do you have any plans on playing other festivals? Not at the moment. We would love to if any came up, but nothing planned yet. But yep, my band Dark Insanity is performing at Tulminator again, as you can see. Big fans. Check us out. That's going to be our only show in Europe this year at Tulminator, Tulman, Slovenia. If you need tickets, hit us up. We can do that too. As for festivals I'm going to go to, definitely doing Milwaukee Metal Fest. It sucks that it's at the same time as the Icelandic festival I went to, Souten, but I'm going to Milwaukee. I'm going to day 2 of Aftershock, the rap day, the Wu-Tang day, playing Tulminator. I want to do another festival. Like Hellfest just released their set times that I wanted to go over because it's a lot of fun, even if I'm not planning on going. But damn, I do actually think it's a good lineup and I would like to return. I do think because the channel is so big now, and I feel would only be fair if very soon I return to Vakken and did an on-the-ground video of that. Because last time I went was 2012, and it was a very wet experience and left a moist feeling in my memory. So I feel like I should give it a fair chance to go back and see, all right, is it going to happen to be sunny? And then I can praise Vakken again. Because that's my only complaint about it. I know it's not their fault, but I think sometime within, I don't know, the next 2 years or something, I need to return to Hellfest and Vakken. despite how fucking massively huge they are now. Make sure you bring acoustic earplugs. Definitely, I'm at the age where you have to bring earplugs to shows now. I used to be tough and cool and a little 14-year-old like, no, I can stand with my ear next to the amp all night. No, don't do that. Come to Rockstad, amazing lineup this year. I really want to. I was looking at that to see if I could try to make it happen. The first day of Rockstad is the last day of Tolminator. And I could maybe jump over and go right into it, but then I don't know what my band wants to do, if they would want to also go to Rockstad, or if they're going back, they're not as used to Europe as I am. So I'm kind of their navigation guide. We were joking last time that we played Tolminator that I should have walked around with our logo on a stick through the airport and be like, all right, this way, guys, like leading everyone around. If it's sunny, then you'll be hot like a medieval battlefield. Surrounded by sweaty Germans like a medieval battlefield. I went to Vakken every year for 10 years, but after everything rained away in 2023, a friend, he hasn't returned. Yeah, a good buddy of mine was going for a long time, since like 2006 up until something like 2022 or sometime around then, and now hasn't gone since. But some people think Vakken has gotten a little too big or a little too commercialized or just a little too wet, which is my opinion. What's your opinion on Electric Callboy? For the most part, I like them. I think they're fun. I went to one of their shows and it was cool. Their type of music, I think I normally wouldn't like if they were aiming to be a serious band. But since they add a lot of humor into it, then I can get into it. But I know they have some songs that aren't like as just straight up silly as others, and those I tend to listen to less. But I was thinking about that because like I do think their songs are fun for the most part. But I was thinking if it was this exact same music, but they were singing about like serious subjects, probably wouldn't like it at all. That's the role humor plays, everybody. If you don't lose at least one shoe in the mud, did you even go to Vakken? No, you did not. If you come back with shoes at all, you didn't go to Vakken. After the 2012 one, I immediately took the bus from Vakken to the Hamburg airport, and they have showers there. That was my first legitimate shower since arriving at Vakken. It was just mud covered all over the ground. It's terrible. Go to Tolminator. You can soak in the sun, lay in the water all day. It's great. Sharon says, sorry I'm late. Had appendix surgery a few days ago. What did I miss? Your appendix, apparently. But nothing else. I hope your surgery went okay. I hope you're doing well. Just been reading comments, reacting to stuff. I was saying that I got to return to Vakken at some point just because it's been a long time. I think it's fair. Went to Vakken in 2002. God damn. Only 2 days back then. Wow. That's old school. Why Vakken of all places? Visit the Party Sand open air. Great lineup, fair prices, and no mud. I mean, just because Vakken is so known and revered that I feel like it only makes sense. If you're going to have a popular metal channel, maybe I don't want to gloat too much, but I feel like it's only fair I go back and be like, all right, let's do it again, you know? But of course I want to go to other festivals for sure. I've not been to Party Sand. I haven't been to any other festivals in Germany except for Vakken. So I just got to go to all of them. Yeah, if anyone asks, how come you didn't go to this festival? It's money. That's the only reason. Blah. Your podcast rocks. Keep up the great work. Thank you. I appreciate the compliment. All right. What are we doing here? What if after the concert you went to without Slayer, everyone starts screaming fucking... People do that all the time. Or at least they did when I first started going to concerts. It didn't matter who was playing. everyone would just yell out Slayer all the time. Here's a good question relevant to this, and then we'll get into some topics. Wyatt, are you into post-metal bands like Neurosis, ISIS, Cult of Luna? Well, I don't support terrorists, so not ISIS. What an unfortunate name. I know what you're talking about, but it's just funny. So Neurosis made a surprise return out of nowhere, no announcement or anything. They were like, hey, we're dropping an album and we're playing at a festival. And that was great for fans. And I wanted to talk about it here on the podcast because it is big news. And I went to check out Neurosis because I felt like I'd never really sat down and listened to it and gave it an honest shot. So I pulled up some old Neurosis songs and I played like 2 songs from the new album. And I really did not like that at all. I was like, I really don't like this sounds. I'm sorry, people think that I only hate on bands, and it's like, no, it's just a lot of bands that people like I tend to not like. I have good taste, my bad. I gave it an honest chance earlier today. I played like 5 Neurosis songs, and I genuinely couldn't fucking stand listening to them. If you love them, I am happy for you. I am not telling you not to. It just sounded awful to me. I apologize. I wanted to like it. I really did, but I didn't. And I can't help it. Plus Vakken has beer pipelines. Yeah, there you go. I don't drink anymore, but I thought that was hilarious when that happened. I remember when they installed that. What the fuck is post-metal? From what I was experiencing with Neurosis, it's kind of random noises. It's like if you were walking around your kitchen and were just bumping electronics randomly. It kind of sounded like that. I don't want to hate on it, but fuck. Someone said, what about Orbit Culture? Orbit Culture is fucking excellent. We were talking about them earlier. Yeah, that band I think is fucking sick. But I apologize to the Neurosis fans. I'm happy for you that you got a surprise album out of nowhere. I think that's really cool, but it was not for me. Oh, what was your first metal festival? Mine was Sounds of the Underground 06. Damn, I remember those days. I didn't go to that one. My first metal festival at all was the free Ozfest in 2007. The one where the main stage had Lordy, back when that was a thing that I was into for like a summer. And then they had Lamb of God and Ozzy. The second stage had Behemoth, Nile, 3 Inches of Blood. Other bands that I can't remember. That was my first outdoor seeing multiple bands on stages all day event. That was really fucking cool. And then I had to go to school the next day. But then I upgraded. My next festival was 2008's Hellfest. Back when Hellfest was only 3 stages and was nowhere near the size of Vakken at all. Back in 2008, Vakken was like the major big festival in terms of like still underground metal bands. Hellfest had Venom as a headliner. And now Venom will like headline the smallest stage at Hellfest, and they'll have the ghost of Jimi Hendrix playing on stage or whatever. They've gotten big is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I went to Hellfest in France 2008, 9, and 10. And then I returned in 2016 and 2019. And going to that festival 3 years in a row at a young age as a teenager getting into metal, it did such a huge, I don't know, thing. It opened my map a lot to where I discovered so many bands, got into the whole metal festival culture. So Hellfest has a special place in my heart, even if it's like so insanely massive now. I feel like I'm always going to have a special, like, kind of fondness toward it just because of my youth and nostalgia and everything. I still think they're an excellent festival, but yeah, it's crazy to see what it's gone from a small 3-stage one to like 8 stages at least on the level of Vakken, if not bigger. All right, what are we talking about? Someone said, isn't Lordy like Guar from Wish? First of all, it's Lordy with an I. It's not the fucking pop singer. But no, that was such a stupid thing. It was just from dumbass Americans who didn't know of Lordy or other bands at all. The singer from Lordy kept saying, if we ripped off anyone, we ripped off Kiss. And that was really true. Because Lordy did not have spraying blood, ripping limbs off joke songs or anything. They were way more of Kiss as a 80s monster movie than they were a Guar ripoff. That was such a stupid ass controversy that was going on at the time. I remember even Otis was saying that it was dumb and that he didn't really see the comparison, but they played along with it. Because I remember I saw Guar where Otis came out with Lordy's head on a stick and was like using it. But no, that was just retarded internet banter. Lordy is kick ass. I liked them back in, fucking 2006, but it's been a while. It's been a while. Man, you should try Obscene Extreme in the Czech Republic. It's a lot of fun. That's one I definitely want to go to. That's one I want to play. I think my band would be awesome there. That'd be a great time. Yeah, no. Obscene Extreme, Brutal Assault, Rockstad, all the festivals in Finland. All festivals I really want to go to that just haven't yet. Courtney says, hi, Wyatt. I'm getting a filling currently while watching. What the fuck? What is up to Courtney's dentist? Hope you're having a good day. Having a good time. Good luck to you. If my mom was getting a filling right now, she'd be playing the most extreme, brutal death metal with fantasies of murdering everybody. Not even joking. Get a couple more comments and then we're going to move on to a subject. The E-Line, what are your thoughts on the bands Nightwish or Epica, opera metal? I love opera metal when it's done well. It can be very samey with bands who are kind of feel more copy-paste of each other. But when bands put real artistry into it, I absolutely fucking love it. I love pretty much all the eras of Nightwish, even though some are more hit and miss than others. And it is awkward now with it just being basically a business, and that's it at this point. But I still love the music, and I love Floriansen. Epica is another one I feel like they're much more of still an actual intact band than Nightwish are, honestly. But no, I love both those bands. I would see both with an orchestra. Yeah. It depends what mood I'm in. If I'm playing extreme, grinding, brutal death metal about slaughtering people, or epic opera music, thinking about being at, a choir. All right. What frontman do you think could beat your ass? All of them? I don't know. I've never been the fighting type of person. That's a weird question. I would mostly belittle them and make them feel insecure. So where they might physically injure me, but for years later, they're going to be crying about what I said. I'm much more the Thrawn type of tactic rather than a brute force person. I don't know. Should we start a frontman deathmatch? We need to have Varg versus Tiny Tim, and whoever wins will take me on in the final Mortal Kombat round. I played that for the... That's awesome. Anyway. Nightwish should be in a Phantom of the Opera movie. I love their cover of Phantom of the Opera. Oh my God. I love it so much. It is so good. That's one of the few plays that I actually very much enjoy. Wyatt, show your tattoos. Everyone wants to see my tramp stamp now before we get into actual topics. I really don't have that many anymore. Or, I mean, I don't have that many compared to other people, really. But Over here, we got this epic Motorhead one. This used to be the White Tree of Gondor. It was my first tattoo I got right when I was 18. The mic's kind of in the way, but it's now a cover-up. The Ace of Spades with Motorhead. Got that right after Lemmy passed away. Felt like it was only the right thing to do. Underneath it is the symbol of Hellfest, and I got that at Hellfest in 2019. Probably paid too much money for it, but I wanted to get the tattoo of the festival at the festival. So that's the Hellfest logo, and it's very fitting underneath that one. I have the bounty hunter symbol of Mandalore from Star Wars. I got this a little bit before, I think, the first season of The Mandalorian came out. And to be fair, I fucking loved the first season, but it very much went to shit, and Disney destroyed Star Wars completely. Now I'm like, damn it. But no, I always wanted to get something for my love of Star Wars, so I felt like it was a thing. It goes well with the arm. But fuck Disney. That's for the real Star Wars. The real Star Wars. God damn it. And then I have an Arnocorps tattoo on my chest right here. I don't think you can really see it that well. I'm not going to flash everybody. Deal with it. It's just a little chest piece of the Arnocorps symbol, because I love those guys. They're very inspiring to me as a youth growing up. And then over here, we have this big tattoo. Oh, where is it? Hard to angle it right here. This is a Joker where above it says life goes on. This is Monkey from the Addicts. When I saw the Addicts for the first time, the card that I caught when Monkey, the frontman, came out and threw cards everywhere was a Joker one, and I got him, put his face over it. Life Goes On is one of their songs that at the time really meant a lot to me. I was dealing with a lot of depression and angst growing up as a troubled youth of punk and music and everything. So I got it, and I still like it, and I still think it looks good, but I do think it's a tattoo where I probably wouldn't get it again if the opportunity came up. I still love the Addicts a lot. Like, they're still one of my favorite punk bands, but I wanted it as kind of like a reminder to have fun with life and think positively and not be so burnt down by bullshit in life. So for that, I still enjoy having it. I still like the meaning of it, but a Joker tattoo. Not surprising for an incel to have a Joker tattoo.
Fool this man!
Shut the fuck up. And then you can't see it, but on my leg, I have the Nordic compass. I'm not pulling up my leg up, but here, I have it up here too, actually. You know what it looks like. Fuck off. I'm not going to pull it up. Viking compass. Rocket is meowing. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I have that on the back of my right leg because of my Icelandic heritage. Reykjavik cars. And that is all the tattoos I have. I'm not against getting more eventually, maybe, but I don't have any plan at the moment. I never wanted to be like fully sleeved up and covered everywhere. I just wanted like some here and there. But we shall see. Star Wars should have stayed a trilogy. It should have stayed a movie trilogy and an expanded universe book series. Completely agree. There is no Disney Star Wars. Booze in the chat. The Vegsveer isn't even Viking? What do you mean? Like, not originally? Man, you're going to make me question my entire place in life right now. Also, your tattoos are so cool, by the way. Love the meanings, etc. behind them. Thank you. Yeah, I feel like all tattoos should have some type of meaning. tattoo whatever you want, but I think there should be some type of reason why you would get it rather than just, I like this thing, it's cool. But I mean, if you want to, whatever. Not hating on it, just questioning. Disney Star Wars isn't real. It can't hurt you. It's from the 1600s. The Vikings were from the 9th to 13th century. What? Why is it always used for them then? Hang on. Before we get into real topics, I'm going to look this up. You're going to make me question my meaning in life. What? Son of a bitch. Fucking Skynet agrees with you. The Vegsvia Icelandic for that which shows the way is an Icelandic magical staff or sigil intended to prevent travelers from losing their way during storms or poor weather, often called the Viking compass or the Norse compass. It is not actually from the Viking Age, but rather recorded in 19th century Icelandic Gilmories. It's still Icelandic. All right, I can still have it. How dare you? So anyone else who has it is an Icelandic, you're a poser. But I'm allowed to still have it. That's what I read, and I'm not going to go further. I'm living my truth. Wyatt has a tattoo across his whole back from Dogma. That's my tramp stamp. It's just one of the Dogma nuts. Hold up, let me get back to some more comments that I said we'd get done with, and then we'll go to a topic. Unlike some bands, I actually care about my fans. My brother-in-law got a straight edge tattoo and drank beer 2 months later. That sounds about right. Yes. That checks out. Get like the hardcore straight edge knuckle tattoo and then do heroin. That sounds about right. Yeah. Duncan McLovin says, I just thought of something. If Wyatt is going to Aftershock the day Cradle of Filth is playing, that's very interesting. Is he going to bring a sign into the crowd asking Danny where the money is? Nope. No, the fuck I am not. Because I'll be doing other shit. Because I'll be watching Wu-Tang Clan. Who has time for Cradle of Dwarf when the RZA, the Jizza, Old Dirty Bastard are on the Ghost of Old Dirty Bastards on stage? Paul Diano or Bruce Dickinson? Bruce Dickinson. Personally. Can we actually start now? No. I'm going to spend the next hour reading more comments just because you said that. I guess I was partially wrong. My bad. You get only half of a boo this man, if it makes you feel better. It's just, the tramp stamp is just an arrow pointing down called music industry. Wyatt, are you going to box Tony from Municipal Waste at Milwaukee Metal Fest because he didn't come on the podcast? No, I am not. The reference, for those who don't know, is that once upon a time, there was talks to have Tony from Municipal Waste come on the show, and then nothing ever happened of it. There was like no talk or anything, just no update. I'm like, all right. Anyway, all right, let's start the show now, shall we? I have a lot pulled up here. Where do we want to start? The Neurosis one will be quick. So as we were talking about earlier, a band that I tried to like earlier today, I really honestly did, I promise, but I just couldn't do it. But I'm happy for their fans. Neurosis returned with first album in a decade. I do like and respect how they released the album, let me say. Neurosis have released their first new album in over a decade, An Undying Love for a Burning World. Now streaming on all platforms via Neurot Recordings, with physical editions arriving in early May. Marking a new chapter for the band, the record features the addition of Aaron Turner on guitar and vocals with other people joining. Now, you didn't mention the part that they didn't even announce that they were releasing it. They just surprise released it. Why would you not include that in your article? I like Metal Insider. I'm trying to help you out here. You missed an important part you should have added. Please, don't copyright me. This is, I guess, the ad that they did. So yeah, this new album from Neurosis, they uploaded and released out of nowhere, no build up, no anything, just, hey, surprise, we're back, which I think is awesome. I respect that. And then they announced one show. It's like an E3 type of drop. Our new game is out today. No, I think it's a really cool way of doing it. I'm not playing because I don't want to get sued. And they also did announce a return show. They are going to be playing at Fire in the Mountains, the very unique metal festival in the US that is on Indian ground, very nature, very cool and unique. I would like to check it out. That's kind of a big announcement, not only for Neurosis, but for that festival. This band comes back out of nowhere after a decade and is only playing there in the middle of fucking nowhere. I think that's cool. And there's their butthole picture of 12 hours after eating Taco Bell they use as an album cover. Yeah, go check it out if you like that sort of thing. I don't, but I'm happy for anyone who does. Very anti-alcohol. Yeah, there's no alcohol allowed at Fire in the Mountains Festival. It's not because of a lame-ass reason. It's because of the reservation doesn't allow alcohol. There's a lot of drunks in reservations, apparently, and they're trying to fix that, which is cool. I'm surprised the festival that doesn't allow alcohol at all did so well. Maybe there's hope for the future. Who do you think would win in a fight, Tim Lambesis or G.G. Allen? G.G. Allen. He wouldn't stop. Tim Lambesis would get mad and rage. G.G. Allen would have fun. That's the difference. I don't think I'd ever leave America to go to a festival. Oh my God, you're going to miss out on the best festivals. There's, oh man, the Tolminator. You still have to leave America to do 70,000 tons of metal because it's on a cruise, but I strongly recommend going. I feel like that's one of the best reasons to travel. You're a metalhead. There's plenty of countries I would not have been to at all if it weren't for metal and metal festivals. I wouldn't know what Slovenia is if it wasn't for metal festivals. But yeah. In other news, another returner to the table. Summer Slaughter returns this year. Their again return after their last failed return with Hatebreed, Devourment, Incantation, and more. For those who don't know, Summer Slaughter was a popular tour, kind of like the 2010s-ish, known for having a bunch of bands like Cannibal Corpse, Decrepit Birth. It was very mix of underground, old school death metal, and then kind of newer bands. And then it disappeared for a bit, and it came back, I think, last year with a lineup that everybody laughed at. Everyone thought was dog shit and made fun of them. The owner of the festival coped and seethed online on Finn McKenty's channel about how fans were just hating. That didn't do well at all. So after that failed comeback, Jamie Josta, actually, friend of the channel, actually, owner of Milwaukee Metal Fest, bought Summer Slaughter. Now he is in charge. So for the second return of Summer Slaughter, going all over the place, we got Hatebreed, Devourment, Incantation, hopefully getting food, Snuffed on, I think, on Sight. Snuffed on Sight. I don't know what that one says. And then another one that I don't know what it says. A much smaller lineup than what you would normally see for Summer Slaughter, at least back in the day at its prime. But This is definitely a starting off smaller, seeing how it does, and then building up type of tour. Like, I'm sure the intent is, if this does well, to do much bigger the following year, or bigger lineup. But that is just how it goes. Who's excited for the new and improved Summer Slaughter? I completely forgot about Finn. Oh! Well, now that you mentioned that, there's a very fun video on the internet we can go over a little bit later. Brat was on that last Summer Slaughter. They were sick. They are sick. They were the one band when I was going through the lineup I thought wasn't bad and that I would actually check out. I remember that. Oh shit, we have a $5 super chat from OG Penguin BT Dubs. Says, hey Wyatt, how are you? I am doing pretty good, thank you. I'm doing all right, I guess. Up here in Northern Ontario, Canada, we got slammed with meters of snow. Everything is shut down here. Damn, snowed in. I feel for you, man. I am in sunny California and not having that experience, but you're probably exhausted with it. I never lived in snow, so I still have that mindset of like, I would love to experience it. But everyone I know who has ever lived in snow is like, no, stay away. Well, I hope you're keeping warm or not bored. Is there something about Incantation I didn't hear about? Weren't they the band that were begging for food? I think so. Not their fault. Or my Incantation. Great band, by the way. Incantation is a brutal, excellent, awesome band. I thought they were the band that was asking for food. Am I getting them mixed up with a different band? Penguin says, it's fun to experience it a few months, but winters in most places extend to April. Okay, yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. I'm very jealous of anyone with a real winter because in LA, winter is 3 weeks of autumn for other places. We literally have rain, light rain for 3 weeks, and that's it. Then it goes back to summer. But yeah, that's a bit much. 3-4 months of winter's great. That's kind of a lot. Get a flamethrower. That's what I would do. Anyway, someone in the chat before I go off on a different topic, what's going to be fun. I used to love Finn's content before he came out of the closet as a poser. Hold that thought. Because this came across my feed the other day. Recently, on a podcast that's not by Finn, to be fair. But by someone else, Finn returned. Finn did an interview, what was it, 4 months ago, where he definitely reinforced that he only did it all for money and did not give a fuck. How Finn McKenty built a 7-figure YouTube brand, uploaded 4 months ago by the Inspired Idiots. Now, I don't know anything about this girl's channel other than she interviewed Finn. So if you're going to throw hate at Finn, I understand that. But I would recommend not throwing it at her because as far as I know, she's a fine person who's just doing an interview. There's no reason to level any dislike of Finn toward her. Keep that in mind. But he definitely reinforces all of your thoughts about him in this interview. He also, I'm going to be completely fair, does give some good advice here and there on how to do financially successful on YouTube. He also really enforces how to do it while having no love or care about it whatsoever. I'll play like a little bit, but
the same mentality to see results in either one.
Yep.
Well, let's cut back here.
It every day. I don't know if I can be inspired every day. So I mean, if there's anything I'm good at, it's just showing up again and again and again and again until, you know, just brute force life. That's, you know, as you had something, you had some kind of like a fitness background or something, didn't you? Yeah. So I mean, it's the same thing. It's like you just show up at the gym, whether you feel that,
I hear it.
go to the post office after school and send a batch to, you know, whatever, Des Moines, Iowa, and Helsinki, Finland, or whatever when I'm 17. Which in hindsight is actually really, it's crazy that I did that, because it's way harder to sell something
All right, I don't care about that part. Hang on.
tents of all the different bands. And there's a handful of people around them, and there were a couple tents that had these crazy lines.
All right, this is actually pretty good. He's talking about when he was at Warp Tour one year, working at Warp Tour. And by the way, he enforces that he has an entire businessman sales mindset. There is no music fan under this brim whatsoever, and he blatantly tells you that. But he's talking about seeing at Warp Tour people in line to meet influencers over bands.
Of like 100 people, and I was like, what's that? And it was like they were YouTubers. It was like Johnny Gilbert, you know, and some other people like that. And like, it's like, whoa, the lines for these YouTubers are literally 10 times longer than the ones for the bands. Okay. Because I didn't really watch YouTube very much before. I mean, obviously I was aware of it, but I didn't really watch it because at that time I still thought of it as something that was, you know, for kids or teenagers or whatever, which was kind of true at that time. It was starting to change, but I think it was kind of true then. But I was like, okay, well, it's obvious to me this is where the attention is. I also at the time was working at a company called Creative Live, which was like a startup that did online education for creative people. We raised like 60 million bucks from like Chamath and Reid Hoffman and Richard Branson and a bunch of people like that. And
Punk rock.
I was on the CEO's content team, a guy named Chase Jarvis, who I've worked with for a long time. And I also worked on his YouTube channel, and I was sort of seeing how that was going up too. And I was like, okay, I should do this. I didn't ever intend it to be, you know, what it became. I just was like, well, if I can get a couple thousand subscribers, I just wanted to like sort of validate that I understood it as like a marketing channel or whatever, you know. I was like, yeah, if I could get 1,000 or 2,000 people that reliably watch my videos, that'd be cool. I'm good with that. And it, you know, it took me a while to figure it out, but it ended up, you know, basically taking off and becoming way bigger than I thought it was going to be. And I was like, well, I guess I should keep doing this then. And so I, you know, kept doing it until I got to, you know, where I felt like it had kind of served its purpose and, you know, moved on. But that's why I started it, because I feel like, well, I don't feel like, I know that you need, you know, attention is sort of the necessary condition for everything else. Like if nobody knows you exist and what you do, then it's going to be pretty hard to make that into a living. And I had experienced a lot of times in my career where nobody knew who I was. You know, I've done product design and marketing, you know, for my whole career for 25 years. And I had worked on a lot of stuff.
People are demanding to see Rocket. I thought this was pretty revealing to go through. I will pull up Rocket.
That I thought was pretty cool. You know, I did a lot of stuff for like
I'm
Swiffer
playing the whole fucking interview.
and Febreze and Tide and Red Bull and Nike and blah blah blah, but nobody cared. You know, it's like nobody knew who I was. Nobody cared. I didn't have a very good network, and that was scary. You know, a lot of people listening can probably relate to that. It's like, well, everyone who works with me likes me and thinks that my work is good, but just nobody knows who I am. So that's why I started it, to kind of change that. And to make a long story short, it worked.
But you very much focused your YouTube channel and your brand on punk music specifically,
Here we go. I think you guys will find this part interesting.
right?
More or less, yeah.
Okay. So what made you choose that particular topic? Like, were you a fan of punk music, or like you could have made a YouTube channel about like anything, right?
Yeah. Well, so initially my channel was not about music. Initially it was more about business, about, you know, sort of marketing, but turns out nobody cared. Nobody, nobody was interested in hearing me talk about that. And I'd done a lot of writing about that kind of music before, and I have like a very good network. I mean, I know everything about it. It wasn't necessarily like the thing I would have preferred. But I knew that, you know, I had a relatively, you know, I thought I could make it work. And once I switched to that, it did work pretty quickly. So basically that's why I did it. 'Cause, you know, you're here to make the content that people want to watch, you know, and that's, I think,
He didn't even want to make content about punk bands, supposed punk Warped Tour type bands. He just wanted to talk about business, but it happened to take off, and he's like, well, I guess I'm doing that.
A thing people need to understand about content in general, but especially with, YouTube is a consumer entertainment app, and this is true of TikTok, and it is a consumer entertainment app. You're here to make the content they want. It is not an art project. You're not here to express yourself. If you get to do that, great. And some people,
this is such a corporate mindset. You're not here to have fun, even though it's a creative outlet where you can actually control the content you make. You're here to only profit off of eyeballs.
Some people,
which profiting off of eyeballs is great, but yeah, continue.
People are able to, you'll hear some people be like, just do whatever feels right to you. And if it's authentic, people connect to it. That's bullshit. That's not true. It might be true for some people, but it's not universally true. There are some people, for example, I know a guy named Nick Nocturnal that's pretty, he just quit too, but I don't know, he has 1.5 million subscribers or something like that. What he does is 100% authentically him, and people love it. Like, I don't think he ever kind of, he's not.
Finn says, you're not here to be authentic. And then he immediately pulls up an example of someone who's successful for being authentic.
Not a calculating person that, reverse engineers what the audience wants, like I am, and does it. He's just like, I just do what I want and people like it. And that's great. That's awesome for him. And if you're one of those people where you can just show up and be yourself and people love it, that's awesome. But that doesn't work for all of us. So, you have to understand.
He had a punk rock channel and he's saying how you can't show up and be authentic.
It is a consumer entertainment app, just the same as if it's whatever. If you're on SNL, you don't get to decide that, oh, well, this week we're going to do a period drama about, a mom and her daughter's troubled relationship from 1750. It's like, you're here to make a sketch comedy show. That's what people want.
Yeah.
So to make a long story short, I like, obviously, like, I know about that kind of music, and of course I like it to some extent. But
did you hear that? Did you hear that, Rocket? Did you hear what Finn McGrifter just said? He just said that he likes that music to some extent for punk rock, when his whole channel was about punk rock music. He just said how he only liked it to some extent. I know, it's repulsive. Repeat that, please, Finn, because I think it's funny.
A period drama about, a mom and her daughter's troubled relationship from 1750. It's like, you're here to make a sketch comedy show. That's what people want.
Yeah.
So to make a long story short, I like, obviously, like, I know about that kind of music, and of course I like it to some extent, but not necessarily.
Can you guys imagine if you guys logged on here and you were asking me about a band and it was like, I like metal to some extent, but it's not really my thing. It's not authentically me. What a fucking ridiculous thing to say.
Really the thing I would have preferred to talk about for 7 years, but it's a product, same as anything else. And you're going to.
What an awful mindset. Yes, you made a lot of money. That is great. And there are like business things to learn if you watch this whole thing, but you can also still enjoy what you're doing, as you just exampled with Nick Nocturnal, and not be a depressive fucking shill. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Just blatantly be like, sickening is the correct word. Yeah, how ridiculous is that? Like, I only did it for 7 years. It was the main thing I talked about. I liked it to some extent. I hate punk rock. I literally watched almost every documentary of them is bragging in retrospect about the bad conditions they lived in with no money while having a nice house in the present. Yeah. It's kind of one of those, it's kind of like the whole legend of black metal, where when you're young and into it, it seems really cool and rebellious and, edgy. And then you look at it as you get older, more wiser, and you're kind of like, it's kind of just Not all of it. Not all of it. But some of it is kind of just loser lazy mentality of I never understood basically gutter punks, their whole thing of we're going to fight against the system by killing ourselves in alleyways. Cool. You really stuck it to Trump by shoving heroin in your arm, you know? Henry Rollins talked a bit about that. I definitely respect that type of mindset more, but the 2028 U.S. presidential debate is just going to be Finn McKenty versus Andrew Lee. No. No, it won't. That's when I start my coup and take over. And the guy claimed he moved in the culture. What a poser. Yeah, he admitted he likes metal, but he likes to dance to normal music at weddings more. I mean, he literally just said, yeah, I somewhat like punk a little bit, but I would have rather talked about business. He literally said that, which he could have just made a fun business channel, you know? That would require him having a personality, but can't have everything. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. I do actually recommend watching it. And don't throw any hate to the lady, just at Finn. Let's clean our palate a little bit of Finn McGrifter, shall we? What do I want to bring up next? I wanted to go over the Hellfest set times. We can make our own dream custom lineup of who we would see. And wow, you're such a poser for not liking that band instead of the other. So, Hellfest 2026 just dropped their full schedule for bands. I do not have plans on attending Hellfest, unfortunately, but we already went over this, and I just like looking at it anyway. I would do the same for Vakken and others too. But so, day one of Hellfest. For anyone going, this is the schedule. Let's figure it out. I'm not going to read every single one. There's like 300 fucking bands playing, but I will read it in the order of who I would see win. There is 3 stages. Bands start at, what is that, 2 p.m.? Or no, 4 p.m. Damn, that's late. Thursday is like a half day where bands start later in the afternoon, but then the next days all start at like 10, 11. Anyway, first band I would want to watch at Hellfest would be Mickey D and Friends, as heartbreaking as that would be. When I first went to Hellfest in 08, that was the first time I saw Motorhead. I was right in front on the rail in front of Lemmy. Phil was there. Mickey D was there. Now Mickey D is the only one surviving. Like, I would definitely watch that and be fucking depressed the whole time. But I would be. Hellfest looks really dope. I had a couple of dilemmas to which I would rather see. Oh, Hellfest always has clashes. It's gonna happen no matter what. There's no way that it won't. Yeah, you just gotta pick and choose. Did you make it to Hell's Heroes this weekend? I didn't see you. No, I did not make it, unfortunately. I wanted to. It just did not work out with timing and money and everything. If it happened this weekend, I would have definitely made it, but unfortunately. But I would like to go. Someone asked, why is Deep Purple so low? This is opening bands to closing bands. That's why. But I would watch Mickey D and Friends, and then I would maybe watch like 2 songs of The Pretty Reckless and then wander over to Winterfell, who are playing at the same time. Yeah, you can't be bored at Hellfest. There's always something cool going on. Now we have a really hard choice here, guys. Are we going to go watch Breaking Benjamin or Rivers of Nile? I know it's a really tough decision. Just real toss in the air of which one to go with. But yeah, definitely go with Rivers of Nile on that one. Didn't Mickey recover from some health issues recently? You met him a few years ago. He was a great dude. I don't know. I'm not sure. Projector, I wish I could go to Hellfest, but the tickets sell before the bands get announced. Yep. Hellfest sells out every year before any bands are announced. That's how it works. After Rivers of Nile, we have got Deep Purple. Or you could watch Lagwagon or Borknagar. Good bands, but I've never seen Deep Purple. I would definitely want to see that. I like how you can go from Rivers of Nile straight to Deep Purple. After that, no. Uncle Acid and the Deadbeats and Halo Effect are at the same time. I would definitely go with Halo Effect. This is how the lineup works. So you see the main bands and be like, ew, Bring Me the Horizon, Papa Roach, Breaking Benjamin, fuck this festival. And then you're like, oh, wait. Rivers of Nile, Deep Purple, gets more brutal as we go. But after Halo Effect, we have Alice Cooper, one of my all-time favorites. Saw him at Hellfest 2010. Would definitely do that. And then right after Alice Cooper's what fucking timeline are we living in? Motorhead has passed away, and Alice Cooper's playing before Bring Me the Horizon. I wish I was born generations earlier. Yes, I'm an old man yelling at clouds right now. Deal with it. Lagwagon for the win. Lagwagon's cool. Yeah, I got nothing against Lagwagon. I saw Deep Purple with Judas Priest. Great show. Damn, that would be awesome. That's a cool lineup. And then after Bring Me the Horizon, you can go see either Ailstorm or Social Distortion or German. The reason they do this, people are like, why is Ailstorm playing after Alice Cooper? It's kind of like an after party type of band. I remember when I went to Hellfest one of the years, Rammstein played, and then after them was Abbeth. Obviously, Abbeth is not as big as Rammstein, but it's like an after party. You see a headline, you get two headliners here, old school headliner, new school headliner, and then you can have another party before you go pass out. First day is not bad. I mean, it starts late in the day, but for me, getting like Winterfell, Rivers of Nile, Deep Purple, the Halo Effect, Alice Cooper, that's fun. I would do that. I don't blame you. Damn good deal. I'm contemplating on seeing Judas Priest. Why would you contemplate it? You should definitely do it. So the older people can leave, I guess. Yeah, someone brought up that point. I mentioned before, when Alice Cooper tours with like Rob Zombie or Marilyn Manson, I feel like he usually plays before. And I think it's probably just because he's older and wants to go to bed, and I don't blame him. You paid your dues. You've been a headliner for decades. You can go to bed whenever you want to. Can someone explain to me why Fire Swans, whatever, are playing at such big festivals these days? They're embarrassing. I mean, I don't know about them personally, but there are lots of embarrassing bands that play big festivals these days. Aren't there? Day one's not bad. Day one is not bad at all. Day two, Friday the 19th, first full day of the Hellfest Festival. We are going to start out with bands I don't know. I'm going to be honest. Kind of going down for a little bit here. We got Crypta. First band, second day for me would be Crypta at 12:50. There we go. I mean, some of these bands might be good, but I don't know who they are. First band I would actively want to see would be Crypta. And then we got Sortilege, old school French band. And then Blood Red Throne. That's cool. Crypta and Blood Red Throne would be sweet. And then, very similar to Blood Red Throne, right afterwards, we have Queensryche. Hellfest was the festival where one year I saw Gorgoroth, and like 10 minutes after they ended was Motley Crue. That's how it works. You can go all over the fucking place. But I wouldn't watch Queensryche. I don't care about Queensryche. I do care about Bloodywood. That would be cool. They're one of the newer bands I'm into. I've not gotten to see them yet. We got Accept, or you could see Dying Wish or Trelldom. Isn't Trelldom one of Gall's bands? I think so. I'm so blind I can't read any of the bands. You have to zoom in real closely. Get your monocle out. Wings of Steel are great, even though many people find this band cheesy. I would probably find them cheesy. Band we got Accept. After them is Sepultura. Still on their farewell tour. Just released a new song while on their farewell tour. Then after them, we have a choice. We've got Halloween or Ceremony or Karnak Angren. I would probably go with Karnak Angren just because I've not seen them before and I can dig some spooky spookiness. I like power metal, but I've never been the biggest fan of Halloween. And that's kind of heresy to power metal fans, but whatever. Can't wait for Sepultura to pull a Motley Crue. God, I hope not. But they have been on a farewell tour for a very long time. Anyway, after, for me, Karnak Angren, we got Decapitated. Fuck yes. Decapitated is fucking amazing live. Or you could go see Opeth if you like that more. I would definitely be a Decapitated. Just me. But what are we doing after Decapitated? Because at the same time as Rotting Christ, at the same time as Malevolence is Iron Maiden. That's going to be a bit of a clash. So while Iron Maiden's playing, we also got Malevolence, Rotting Christ, Slift, Periphery, La Dispute, and My Dying Bride. All either playing their full sets or starting their sets during Iron Maiden. And for me, I've seen them a lot, but I'm going with Maiden. Maiden for 2.5. Yeah, of course. Yeah. It would have to be a very, very special band for me to go choose that instead of Maiden. Because they're not going to be around for a whole hell of a lot longer. It's got to suck to be any band and know you're playing at the same time as Iron Maiden. After Iron Maiden, Sabaton. The two main stages going back to back. I think that's pretty... I would love to see that. Iron Maiden opening for Sabaton. What kind of a world is this? If you don't like Sabaton, you could go watch either Mastodon or Blood Incantation. Honestly, all three of these are solid choices. You're not going to go... That's a pretty bad clash for fans. I think the last time I saw Sabaton was at Hellfest in 2019 when they headlined twice. Part of the Run for Your Lives tour, a great show. I would definitely check that out. And then after them, at midnight or starting at 1 a.m., you got Ultra Vomit, the Dillinger Escape Plan, or The Gathering at the same time. I would go to bed after Sabaton. But now you see how Hellfest works. 3 solid bands all playing at the same time. Day 2, so I would... How many bands is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 bands in the day. That's pretty good. With Maiden and Sabaton. Pretty cool you have Crypta opening for Iron Maiden. Let's get to Saturday, day 3. Now it's getting very heavy here. Except for, I don't know a lot of these bands in the beginning of the day again. Oh, Insanity Alert is a lot of fun. That's a really cool, stupid, like, party thrash band. I saw them at one of the Hellfests. I would definitely watch them. They're a fun time. They have like parody Run to the Hills, but it's Run to the Pit, and it's about mosh pits. They're a fun band. Then, nothing for quite a while. Until we get down to, we got Gate Creeper or Psychonaut or Defeated Sanity at the same time. I would go with Gate Creeper. So you can watch the Sanity Alert and then have a food break and then Gate Creeper. Ooh, after Gate Creeper is 1914. That's sick. All right, Saturday is getting fucking cool now. And after 1914, you can have either severe torture or pigs. That's ridiculous. That would kind of be chill there. I don't care about Static X. I'm going to be honest. Gadia's good. I would go see them. That would be fun. Seems the black metal stage is pretty good that day. And then we got Cavalera doing Chaos, or you can see God is an Astronaut, or you can see Obscura. Anytime Max plays at these festivals, it is huge and popping off. When Roots Bloody Roots comes on, the place is going to blow up. You could go watch Tom Morello, or you could go watch actual punk rock and go see the Cro-Mags, which I would definitely be doing instead. That's a fun jump. How pricey is food at Hellfest? It's, I think, typical festival food. Not outrageous, but what you would expect from a big festival. They have a whole huge food area with like tons and tons and tons of vendors. So it's not too bad. It costs money, but I don't, what a hamburger is going to be 15 to 17 or something like that. Anyway, Anthrax. Oh, fuck. This one sucks because we got Anthrax at the same time as Septic Flesh. And I love both of these bands. Part of me wants to say Anthrax, even though I've seen them a lot more than I've seen Septic Flesh. But Anthrax was my first band. That's like the nostalgia one for me. I feel like I kind of don't have a choice. My body would just automatically go over there. But I'd be very bummed about, can't you just switch that with, put Septic Flesh at the same time with Tom Morello? Come on. That would be a lot better. Ugh. I guess I would do Anthrax. Then we got Kubla Khan versus Ara Noir. I'm going Ara Noir. Black fucking metal. But then we do have a choice up here. We got Megadeth, Amra, or Carcass. Are you going to go see Megadeth play for the final time at Hellfest? Or are you going to go see motherfucking Carcass? These are important life decisions for every metalhead. Greetings, Wyatt and fellow Swifties. I'm late to the party. That's exactly what we're talking about right now. We're talking about Taylor Swift Fest. I understand anyone who would choose Megadeth, but I was never a fan of Megadeth, so I would choose Carcass. But I would definitely choose... Oh, wait. I would watch Old Man's Child for 15 minutes, and then I would have to go watch Limp Bizkit. No, was it 25? Okay, 25 minutes is better. You can't make fun of me if I watch 25 minutes of Old Man's Child before getting down with the biscuit. I put in the black metal cred before doing it all for the nookie. All right, don't call me a poser. No Creed. No Creed, not going. You know, if Creed played a festival like Wacken or Hellfest, it would be huge. Like, it would be a massive chaos. It would be hilarious. I would absolutely watch Creed if they played one of these massive festivals. But we got Limp Bizkit with Cult of Luna or Deicide. I know I'm going to be a huge metal poser. I know everyone's going to unsubscribe right now, but I'm not Finn McKenty, so I'm not going to say just what everyone wants to hear. I would be watching Limp Bizkit over Deicide. There goes all my metal credit. I understand if you're unsubscribing now. I get it. Finn did it all for the money. I did it all for the nookie. I managed to suffer through 3 Guns N' Roses songs on Vakken last year with Axl's terrible voice. Dave can't be much worse, right? I bet you Dave is 1,000% better. Oh, man, that had to suck. Wasn't it raining during that, too? Did you have to sit through the knee-high mud in Germany to watch Axl Rose croak over 3 songs? That sucks. I feel bad for you. That'd be a shitty experience. See, someone's smart. Someone said Megadeth for 30 minutes, then Old Man's Child. Yeah, you don't have to watch full sets at Hellfest. That does make it a bit better. You can go watch 2 songs and then go run over and watch another band. That's what I would do. I would watch Limp Bizkit until Deicide came on. Then I would go over and take like 2 Instagram videos to make everyone think I only watched Deicide, and then I would go back and watch Limp Bizkit. After that, though, we've got Volbeat or Hatebreed or Behemoth. All at the same time, I would go Behemoth for sure. I do think, they've been a bit cringe of the last few years, but I definitely would still rather see them over Volbeat and Hatebreed. No disrespect to Jamie Jossa. Behemoth. Someone says Hatebreed all the way. There you go. That's the beauty of Hellfest. You can go with your friend to Hellfest and see completely different bands for the whole weekend. Day 3, pretty solid. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-ish. 12 bands, day 3. That's pretty good. Last day, day 4, Sunday. I feel like 4 days is perfect for festivals. 3 days is just too short. 4 days is perfect. The Dwarves, that's not bad. That's a fun old punk band. It's not Danny Filth on stage. It's actually a band. The Dwarves wouldn't be bad. The Bones also wouldn't be bad. What's with the punk stage the last day? What do you think? Rocket says all these bands suck. They're all posers. He just wants to watch Varg talk about fantasy role-playing games for 4 days. That would be the most brutal metal festival ever. Isn't that right? When does it get fun? Fulci, which I like seeing Fulci, however the fuck you say it, I don't care, is on at the same time as President. So while an awful, terrible, propped up industry plant band is performing, you can go see a real, actual, cool fucking band. I mentioned President and Rocket had to get away. Very understandable. I'm actually flying to Germany later this year and moved plans around to catch the Dimmu Borgir Behemoth Dark Funeral show. Never got to catch Dimmu in the States. That is a fantastic fucking lineup, honestly. Man, Dimmu was so great, and they're definitely like weekend warriors now, which is, whatever they want to do. They did tease that something new is going to be coming out soon. Hopefully it's better than their last 2 albums. But that would be a great show for sure. Dark Funeral is awesome live. I've seen them with, all of their singers that they've had, and it's always been killer. Someone said I would run the fuck away from President. All the way over to Scour. We got Fulci and then Scour. Hell yeah. That is sick. That would be fun. Or Soylent Green, that's good too, but I would go Scour. But then you got 6 Feet Under, or the Buzzcocks, or Black Veil Bride. I would step out of the death metal realm and go to punk. I would watch the Buzzcocks. Not like a band I'm big on, but out of those, I would take that. And then we got Pennywise, or I Hate God, or Gehenna. I have barely any interest in all of those bands, so I don't know. I would just wander around in a circle and just see where I ended up. How about that? Which you have to have a lot of time at festivals that's not planned. You have to allow yourself time to just wander around and find new bands. Why and how is President even there? Money. Connections. Dimmu announced new album earlier. Earlier today or earlier this week or something. I want to still love Dimmu, but wasn't into their last 2 albums at all. Anyway, after Pennywise, you can see the 3 Days Grace, Circle Jerks are forbidden. That's a huge jump in music right there. I mean, obviously, I'm going to either choose Circle Jerks or Forbidden, but I honestly don't know. I feel like I would leave that up to whatever's they're in the mood for at the time. Now, we can write off Rise Against. I understand, don't worry. That one's not in question. But are we doing Corrosion of Conformity or Wolves in the Throne Room? That one's pretty tough to choose. I think I would go with Corrosion of Conformity. But that's also a good choice. If you're not at the main stage, you're making a good choice at this time. All right. Architects, Agnostic Front, or Possession. Possessed. Agnostic Front. I definitely would go with Agnostic Front on that one. I would have went with Possessed before, but unfortunately. So I would go with Agnostic Front. Pedo Obsessed. Yeah. Anyway, after the disappointment, we got Acid Bath or Marduk. Now we're talking about a fucking clash. That's difficult. Or the Hives. Marduk or Acid Bath. That one is genuinely difficult. I like both bands. I would have a hard time choosing between either. What does the chat say? Would you rather do Acid Bath or Marduk? That is a tough question. Projector says Acid Bath, no question. Will I get shot here when I say Architects?
Fool this man!
We got Acid Bath. We got both. We got Marduk. Maybe Acid Bath. You could watch 3 songs of Acid Bath and 3 songs of Marduk. There you go. Man, I'd really have to decide in the moment. That one sucks. But we got either Bad Omens, The Addicts, or Napalm Death. Now, the only thing that sucks about this is that I love both The Addicts and Napalm Death. Why the fuck can you put them at a different time? God damn it. But having the tunes between Bad Omens and The Addicts, oh man, the decisions are just so tough. I just don't know what I would do. It's not like I have a tattoo of one of these bands already. Definitely The Addicts, especially because I am not about to watch The Offspring and their lame asses. So it would be cool to make it to Mayhem. I mean, it's not that late. You could probably make it to Mayhem and be fine. But The last like celebration band, I think Going Out with the Addicts is kind of a good personal headliner in a way. That's a very fun, positive band to end the festival with. When I last went to Hellfest 2019, the second day, I don't remember the order, but the same day it went Bloodbath, The Addicts, ZZ Top, and Sisters of Mercy in the same day. It was fucking fantastic. And that was before the ZZ Top guy died, so it was the original ZZ Top. Mayhem got shit on at Brutal Assault last year? Why? What did they do? I'm prejudiced and saw a woke Antifa shirt on Napalm Death, so no. I still love Napalm's music. Yeah, politically, I like what they think they stand for, if you know what I mean. But I could definitely do with less political rants and more grind. But I love the fuck out of Napalm Death. In Milwaukee, they're playing at one of the normal stages, but then they're also playing on the bar stage, and that's going to be fun. I can stand Barney from Napalm Death way fucking more than I can stand Randy from Lamb of God right now. Good God. Like, dude, there's already enough late night propagandists out there. We don't need another one. Anyway, Hellfest 2026, quite a good lineup. I actually think the last day might be one of the weakest. And I'm not saying it's bad at all. There's a lot of good bands. But usually the last day has like headliner after headliner after headliner after headliner after headliner. And this kind of feels like more what normally Friday or Saturday would be. That said, there's bands I'd watch all day and have a great time. Yeah, Hellfest 2026, I think is a good lineup. Only a couple of major clashes that would bother me. Nothing world-ending. But that's Hellfest 2026 for everybody. I am hyped to see Belushi Speedball at Milwaukee. Dude, they were so sick. I saw them last time I went to Milwaukee Metal Fest. Loved them. Like, Belushi Speedball is an awesome fucking party band. Hell yeah. I had just heard the name. I literally knew nothing about them until I just wandered in to see them at Milwaukee. Loved it. So much fun. Why the fuck is Volbeat at every festival? Volbeat is one of those bands that exploded that I did not expect. Like when they came around 2008 or so, they were a cool blues-inspired rock metal band. And then Metallica took them on tour. And then all of a sudden, they're on mainstream radio, headlining arenas over Him, which is weird. It's, yeah, you talk about bands selling out. Volbeat's definitely one of them. But they were cooler back in like 2008 for sure. I don't listen to Lamb of God anymore either. Man, I'm all for separating art from the artist 100%. I was still jam out their banger songs. It has been a little off-putting though, I'm not going to lie, to check out the new album. Also, I think the new logo is lame. The new Lamb of God logo, they were talking about how it was time for a change. Randy made a little joke about it looking kind of lame. I think their new logo looks way more like something you'd find at fucking PacSun or whatever. But I'm not Lamb of God. I can't stand the vocals of the guy in Volbeat. I like him when the song is good. But when it's just a generic mainstream rock song like it's been lately, no. Volbeat is there for that one blonde girl to be excited at the crowd and for the rest of the concert goers to hit the bathroom and grab a beer. Yeah. It's because the kids going to see the opening bands need to have something for their mom to do while they're also at the concert. That's why Volbeat's playing. I don't hate the new Lamb of God logo, but it could be better. Yeah. Yeah. Like, let's look at the Lamb of God logos really quick. I mean, I don't care that much. I don't spend a lot of time sitting around thinking about it, but so on the top over here on the right, you see my hand over here, Instagram. The top is the new logo. The bottom is the old logo they had for a very, very long time. I'm not saying either logo is particularly amazing, but I feel like this one just looks way more commercial, bland, the edgy store in the mall type of logo than this one is. Is that just me? Am I wrong? I might be wrong. Lamb of God is just testing your logo out for their sushi. And shitification. There you go. Our metal band shifting to the new Crackle Barrel logo now. It's not going that far. But come on, Lamb of God, you're not a tech company. They changed it to just like a stupid like AI symbol. I agree. It looks kind of sterile. Yeah. I'm not like, what the fuck, this is shit, but I'm like, it just looks kind of bland. Like, woof, that's trendy bad. They did the dumb corporate cleanup. I feel like it represents their direction as of late. Yeah, it's not the choice I would have made. It's also not something I care that much about. I love the old logo than the new logo. I wanted to bring up, hang on. What's happened to make people turn on Lamb of God? But we have an answer because of their politics and more of how Lamb of God treated the best drummer ever. I don't know the full situation with the drummer. It was definitely weird. I would like to know more about it because at the time I was under the impression that it was kind of amicable, but it seems like they kind of screwed him. I honestly don't have that much info on the drummer situation, but that would be fun to dig in. But in terms of the political thing, so every single interview that Randy has done lately, he's talked about how it's important for him to use his voice as an artist to talk about politics. And honestly, I think that's fine. If an artist chooses to talk about politics, I think that's on them. They obviously know they're probably going to cut out a portion of their audience no matter what, whether they lean right or left or whatever. But if they want to, it's up to them. My only issue is that Randy's rebellious punk rock politics just happen to always fall in line with the mainstream consensus of what the current thought should be. On his Substack, he gets very political. He wrote a whole long thing about how Americans need to stand up against ICE and it's becoming a fascist country, and all those things that every late night host and every news channel that's owned by the entertainment agencies that own the late night shows all also say. Isn't that interesting? But Randy also didn't say anything about the details of the Epstein files. He didn't say anything about the people of Iran being slaughtered by their government. He claimed that Venezuela is actually worse off now than it was before with Maduro. I would love to hear what Venezuelans think about that one. He just does not appear as rebellious as he likes to think, is what I would say. He talks a lot about making a stand for, he should be allowed to talk about politics. Sure. I'm not saying he's not allowed to talk about it, but you obviously open yourself up to criticism if what you're talking about is also very bland and as surface level as a Stephen Colbert monologue. I've been joking that Randy is going to be on The View any day now. That's how it is. Can't wait for Jimmy Kimmel Live to be replaced with Randy Bly Live. That's exactly what I'm saying. And there are so many people who I feel like can talk about things with politics. If you talk about politics with anyone, you can probably get along well if you do not mention specific politicians' names. if you talk about structures, things happening in society, a lot of people tend to agree more or less on those. But whenever someone says Trump, Biden, whatever, the censors kick in and people lose their fucking minds. CNN presents heavy metal. Exactly. So my thing is, it's not that Randy shouldn't talk about politics, is that his rebellious politics are extremely mainstream and very selective. But that's just my opinion as the savior of metal. I'm not really on either side politically, but I still enjoy the music, which makes me feel kind of weird. I don't think you should feel weird about that. I think that's a great thing if you can fully put politics aside and just enjoy art for what it is. Especially Lamb of God has always had politically charged lyrics, but they're not straight up being like, this politician sucks, you should vote this way, It does still take a bit of a jump from the meaning of song lyrics to someone talking about a specific topic. I feel like everyone in the world has opinions that I wouldn't agree with and some opinions that I would agree with. He's become a booner shitlib. Yes. He looks like he took every dose of the boosters that was required. If you hear him talk, he very much sounds like he's boosted. Anyway. I'm just tired of political shit and I'm not even American. I'm fucking jealous. God damn it. That's everyone knows the two-party system is stupid and bullshit and a lie. Everyone has different reasons to what that actually means. I just want to get out of it. A friend of mine moved from, LA? No, it went from LA to Reno to Singapore and talks about how fucking amazing it is to just be out of political system in America entirely. I'm like, that's what I want. I don't give a fuck if it gets fixed or if it burns down. I don't want to be a part of it. That's my answer. I'm all for people either fixing it or whatever. I don't want to be part of the stupid conversation unless I'm in charge. Anyway, so Randy Bly is just as stupid as Billie Eilish. I'm not surprised at all. Yes, Randy Bly has the exact same political opinions as Billie Eilish is told to have. That's how rebellious he is. I know people all over the political spectrum and discuss stuff with them all the time. It is perfectly possible to entertain ideas without agreeing to them. 1000% agree. Yes. Yes. No one should be so fucking beholden to any political name or fucking politician. Especially with American politicians, you're choosing which one you want to fuck you less. That's the only option you actually have. And I have family members that are super liberal. I have friends that are super right-wing. I have a lot of friends who are somewhere in between. And I enjoy the ones where I can have genuine conversations with and not always agree with, but talk about their ideas and see. I feel like maybe not every single one, but most political philosophies ever have something in it that works out. Maybe not everything. Maybe the Soviet Union as a whole was pretty fucking evil and dog shit, but maybe there was one thing in it that worked. And I don't think that one thing should be thrown away. We can just change everything else. That's my thought. Don't be so fucking beholden to one side or the other. In my video that I'm working on, the Live Nation Files, I was doing research on the whole history of, the 4-year-long history of the antitrust trial. But take a guess, metal fans, which presidential administration was the most aggressive against Live Nation and was trying to actually get them to break up? It was Biden. It was very clearly, it was Biden. Obama allowed them to merge and let them get away with not following any of the guidelines. Trump came in and saw they weren't following the guidelines and was like, you guys should. Okay. Biden came in and was like, we're all Taylor Swift fans. This sucks. Let's destroy this. I was not a fan of Biden at all. But unequivocally, Biden's term did the most to try to actually take down and rein in Live Nation, surprisingly. And then Trump's second term came in and was like, no. But I'm saving all that for the video, where I'm going to get into all the big details about it. We'd be a lot better off without tribalism. If people can have intelligent, respectful conversations, politics wouldn't be this insane. I completely fucking agree. I would 100% welcome a roundtable political discussion that had someone from the far left, someone from the far right, moderate, Democratic Party, Republican Party, super fringe, socialist, having a conversation about the ideas, not trying to win, score points, belittle, actually talking and figuring it out. That's what I think it should be. But money, super PACs, controlling the world kind of gets in the way. But Obama allowed it, so Dems did it, then Dems fought it. Makes sense as long as they're all on the same page. Yeah, they're very wishy-washy. Anyway, that's the political rant that kind of came out of nowhere on this week. That's tonight's Doritos political rant of the night. They have to keep us divided so we can't organize and improve. See, I agree in a sense. We're going to get to more metal topics in. We're going to get to COI Fest next, actually, because it can kind of fit in. But to round out this political rant that I went on, I agree with that broadly, generally, that powers that be keep us divided so we can't organize. I also am just highly doubtful, one, in humans, but two, in current day Americans, to actually be able to organize in any type of real movement. Everyone has their own agenda. It's not just left and right. People think, it's just a class war. And then the billionaires would die and then everyone would just hold hands and get along. No. Humanity has always found reasons to kill each other. It would not stop with that. I support finding different political systems and parties and things because I don't think the American one works at all. But yeah, it would not be good people versus the bad people. It would be broken up into tribes who are all attacking each other for stupid fucking reasons. Anyway, that's my politics. My politics is that we need more gun. In Sweden, we have a lot of small parties with different opinions, but they still need a majority, of course. So it still boils down to left versus right. Yeah. Aren't political spider webs fun? Read the Epstein files. You don't vote for what someone will do. You vote for what they won't do. Fucking pretty much, dude. Quote from Ronald Reagan. Can I be honest? I genuinely don't know enough about Reagan nor JFK to give an honest opinion if I thought they were good or bad. I've heard, people hate Reagan and people love Kennedy and everything. I genuinely just have not done much research into either one yet. So I don't know. Maybe Reagan sucks and was white Lucifer, or maybe he wasn't. I don't know. Let's talk about metal. The only time guns are fun are when Gun Drummer has them. His entire channel is fun. Anyway, very important question. All this politics and shit. Hey, Wyatt, do you actually hate metalcore? Now we're at the important questions. Hate is a strong word, but I very much dislike the general sound. I do not like harsh-ish vocals being mixed with whiny screams or whiny like sounds. I have no problem with clean vocals when it's done well, but they all sound like they're crying. I fucking hate it. Is there any metalcore band that I would say? Do you count Heaven Shall Burn as metalcore, or are they deathcore? Where do they? They're somewhere within the core range, but I like Heaven Shall Burn. I think they're solid as fuck. But any band that does the fucking "we are angry and now I'm sensitive," I'm like, no, awful. Get the fuck out of here. Kennedy would not like the current Democratic Party. Then I would like Kennedy. That's why Israel shot. I mean, what? Never mind. Thinking of the gun drummer clip, have you ever shot a gun, Wyatt? Can't imagine it's an invalid question for a Californian. It's been a long time. I have. I went with a friend to a gun range. Me and another friend have been talking about going for a while. Sometime this year, I'm going to go out and visit Gun Drummer and shoot guns with him. I'm absolutely going to do that. I have. It's just been a long time. But I wasn't bad at it. They still they have shooting ranges near me. It just, yes, it's a lot more difficult to have a gun in California than pretty much anywhere else. Whiny vocals just don't do it for me. Cleans mixed with growls can be good if it doesn't sound like you're crying. I agree. I have no problem with Devin Townsend doing screams and clean vocals. And it sounds like someone is fucking crying. I'm out. Anyway, all right. We'll finally continue the show an hour later. As I mentioned before, CY Fest, a punk, hardcore type of festival, was supposed to happen in LA recently, March 28th. It was supposed to happen this weekend. However, shocker, in the hardcore punk community, allegations came out against someone. Can you believe it? I know these words have never been uttered together before, but someone in the hardcore community might be a creeper. The CY Fest canceled after 20 bands dropped off. This festival was going to have the Partisans. I don't know who that is, but bands I know. We got Whiplash, I Hate God, Pig Destroyer, Ghoul, fucking love Ghoul. Weekend Nachos, Infest, Haggis, Excel, Final Conflict. You get what's going on here. Very smelly show. A lot of underage drinking. Punk rock handled by Ticket Bastard. This event had happened before. I think this was like a yearly thing that was going on, but the inevitable cancellation has finally occurred. The LA Punk Metal Hardcore Festival CY Fest is officially not happening after at least 20 bands dropped off the lineup due to sexual misconduct allegations against the promoter. CY Fest was to take place this weekend at the Belasco with a bunch of bands, but they all dropped out after an online feminist group working through the Instagram account Feral Bonobos circulated dozens of sexual misconduct allegations against promoter Ignacio Rodriguez, Nacho Corrupted, and urged a boycott of the CY Festival. This is not reassuring. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I don't know if the dude is guilty or not. I'm not trying to stand up and defend him. He's pushing back on it on his Instagram. It coming from a self-proclaimed feminist group makes me a little suspicious, but it's also not completely wild to think that someone in the hardcore scene could have these allegations. Rodriguez announced Monday that he was stepping back from the fest to focus on legally challenging the allegations against him, which he says are false. Tuesday, Tank Crimes Records owner Scotty Heath announced he was taking over promotions for the event in an attempt to salvage it, and then he backed out a day later after realizing he was in over his head. That was not smart. All the while, bands kept dropping off the lineup. Okay. Now, CUI Fest 2026 has officially been canceled. In an Instagram story Thursday night, the fest announced CUI Fest 2026 is canceled. All tickets have been refunded automatically to your bank account. It will take 24 or 48 hours to hit your account. And then, oh yeah. So that was the actual post. And then the Regent, the venue itself. Wait, no. It said it was happening in Belasco. Is it Belasco the Regent Theater? You just said it was happening in Belasco, but then it mentions the Regent Theater. Oh, pre-shows. Okay, reading is fun. Pre-shows were supposed to take place at the Regent Theater. The Regent Theater made a statement saying, at the Regent Theater, the safety and well-being of our patrons, staff, and performers are our highest priorities. We do not condone sexual assault or any behavior that compromises the safety of our community. Would anyone make a post being like, we totally condone these actions, we're fine with it? It's kind of funny, but we maintain a zero tolerance policy toward any form of harassment or misconduct. In order to accommodate bands traveling from out of town and the fans excited to see them, the following shows are still scheduled to take place: Partisans, Pig Destroyer, and Drop Dead. In light of recent allegations and in an effort to support those impacted by gender-based violence, we will donate 100% of proceeds from these shows to the Downtown Women's Center and Downtown Women's Action Coalition. Got a coalition of the willing fighting against CUI Fest. At least some people got their money back, unlike some other festivals. Blue Ridge Rock Fest, Capulet Fest. What other ones are there? I can smell this fest from here. Yeah, you definitely could. Metal Days. Oh, yeah. I was like, why are people coming? Oh, right. That one festival. So the guy being accused has made several statements trying to refute these. And this is going to be my first time reading these, actually. So I don't know. This guy could be totally guilty and could be a scumbag, or these women could be lying. I know that it's not a particularly mentally healthy scene in any capacity. So it could honestly be either way. But Nacho Corrupted said, we ought to be careful out here where rumor puts on a clean shirt and calls itself truth, where gossip travels faster than grace and lies turn into facts. The internet can turn whispers into verdicts before anyone stops to ask what is real, what is invented, and who benefits from the fire. Yeah? Someone wants food. You want to eat the predator, Rocket? Rocket wants to eat the predators. Rocket says chomp chomp on predators. That could be a shirt. I plan on making better merch and shit soon too, by the way. But from what has been set in motion against me, what has been set in motion against me is not misunderstanding, not confusion, not some harmless collision of perspectives. It is a deliberate smear campaign built on fabrication, on falsehood, on allegations engineered with the clear intention of destroying my name. And the damage does not stop with me. It ripples outward. It wounds fellow punk artists. It wounds our festival. And above all, it wounds my family. So while I understand the appeal of framing this as some passing dispute, some he said, she said sideshow, it is far more serious than that. There is a responsibility here to my family, to my community, and to the truth itself, to clear my name and confront these allegations for what they are. To everyone who stood by me from the beginning, I carry deep gratitude. For 20 years, I have given my time, my work, and my heart to protecting this community that has not changed and will not change now. And then Erotic Rat is the person that was making the accusations, because I did see their page. They had a whole long post of accusations from people. So this is not from Nacho Corrupted. This is him taking a screenshot of either the woman or one of the women who started the accusations. And it's that woman saying, notice of content removal. This post is to confirm that I have made a good faith effort to remove content previously shared across my social media platforms that was referred in a recent cease and desist communication. To the extent any content may still remain visible, it is unintentional and in the process of being located and removed. This action is taken without admission of any wrongdoing or liability. I remain committed to addressing this matter in good faith and respectfully request that any further communication be made in writing. This is also, I can confirm from looking at their post earlier, not how this person normally talks. This is lawyer speak, and that is very interesting. And then another post from them saying, notice, I'm in the process of removing previously shared content across my platforms. Any remaining content is unintentional and will be removed. This is being done in good faith and without admission of liability. It is also being done by court ordered. This is interesting. This is very interesting. Because I don't know who's telling the truth here. I could dig into it more. I'm definitely curious to keep an eye on this situation. Because something interesting is going on. Either a festival promoter is a piece of shit, or someone is trying to destroy an innocent festival promoter for their own gain. I don't know. Remember, the allegations against Decapitator were complete bullshit and almost destroyed their lives entirely. These posts of being legally required to remove content because she's getting sued by him, which is what that means. If you've read legal stuff, lawsuits at all, that sure looks like that's what that means. That doesn't mean that he's automatically innocent. I don't know. What does the chat think? Everyone's talking about other shit. What the fuck is everybody even talking about in the chat? All right. We got a $2 super chat from King Spade saying My Chemical Romance sucks. Who agrees? No, I think on the extreme metal channel, everyone loves My Chemical Romance. Totally. Rocket Power. Do you guys know who Fernanda Lear is? Yeah, from Crypto. She is awesome. I love that chick. Okay. You kind of seem like you're just being annoying. Anyway. Kind of reminds me of the Lee Jennings allegations. I don't know what that one is. Seems sketchy, but innocent until proven guilty. I'd wait for more info before deciding who's lying. Yeah. I'm right in the middle. Both sides can present their evidence. I'm curious to see how it goes. Yeah, not enough evidence yet. What's y'all's opinion on Chaperone crucifying a kid for smiling at her? Oh, we could talk about that quickly, but I'm going to keep an eye on COI Fest and see what's up with this promoter and what the truth is. You can't handle the truth. Lee Jennings is the lead singer of the Funeral Portrait, and he's got some allegations against sexual harassment, I think. Well, that's lame. Wyatt's Metal says, don't sexually harass people. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. So, let's talk about two subjects that aren't metal or punk at all, but are fucking hilarious and fun. Yes, we're going to get to the subject that some of you are thinking we're going to get to. But first, this pop star named Chappelle Roan, who I'd vaguely heard the name of, did not know any of her music. I don't care about these plastic dolls in any way. Apparently hates children. Is there a YouTube video that talks about this? Because I don't want to dive hella into it. This is the first time in my life I've ever typed the words chaperone into YouTube. Chaperone, kids. God, this bitch is horrifying looking. Who wants to say it in a way that isn't dreadful? Oh, here's a good one. Oh, wait, no, it's fuck. Damn. Chappelle Roan, big pop star. Kind of looks like a Scottish witch. Kind of horrifying looking, I'm not going to lie. Makes mainstream boring shit pop music for children. Has a bunch of kid fans. Recently got a lot of trouble in Brazil. I think Chappelle Roan might be the only artist that Brazilians have ever told, don't come to Brazil. This is a historical moment. Access Hollywood can tell us about it really quick.
I did not ask the security guard to go up and talk to this mother and child. They did not come up to me.
Chappelle Roan
I told you. Looks like a Scottish witch.
is speaking out after Brazilian soccer player Jorginho Frello accused the singer's security team of making his 11-year-old stepdaughter cry. On Saturday, March 21st, Frello, who is married to Catherine Harding, took to his Instagram story to claim that his daughter, a fan of Rowan's, was shaken after the pop star's security chastised her for walking by Rowan's table as they dined at the same hotel in Sao Paulo.
I can't believe that someone who dresses like this is a cunt. That's shocking. Wow. I never would have expected it.
Ahead of Rowan's Lollapalooza Brazil set. This morning, my daughter woke up incredibly excited. She even made a sign because she was so happy to see an artist she really admires or used to admire at Chappelle Roan. By coincidence, they're staying at the same hotel as this artist. During breakfast, the artist walked past their table. My daughter, like any child, recognized her, got excited, and just wanted to make sure it was really her. The worst part is, she didn't even approach her. She simply walked past the singer's table, looked to confirm it was her, smiled, and went back to sit with her mom. She didn't say anything, didn't ask for anything, he alleged in the post, which featured a picture of his daughter's sign. He went on to claim that a large security guard then came up and began speaking with his daughter and wife.
What the fuck is this? Why do people like this thing?
In an extremely aggressive manner, saying, quote, that she shouldn't allow my daughter to disrespect or harass other people. Honestly, I don't know at what point simply walking past a table and looking to see if someone is there can be considered harassment. He even said,
the story is that they're at breakfast, the kid and her mom. Chappelle Roan walks in and sits down. The kid goes like, oh my God, I think it's that Chappelle Roan. Walks up and goes and sees that it's her, and then goes and sits back down. Didn't talk to her, didn't ask her for a picture, didn't like be annoying in any type of way, surprising for a kid. And then Chappelle Roan sent a big security guard to tell him off and kick him out.
That he would file a complaint against them with the hotel while my 11-year-old daughter was sitting there in tears. My daughter was extremely shaken and cried a lot, he added in part. Further in his statement, Frella wrote, "It's sad to see this kind of treatment coming from those who should understand the importance of fans. At the end of the day, they are the ones who built all of this. I sincerely hope this serves as a moment of reflection. No one should have to go through this, especially not a child." He then directly referenced the singer, saying, "Without your fans, you would be nothing," before adding, "And to the fans, she does not deserve your affection." On Sunday, March 22nd, the pop star responded to the accusations in videos
100% twat waffle. She does look like the queen from Alice in Wonderland, somebody said.
to her Instagram, sharing her side of the story, as she claimed she did not ask security to go and speak with them and that it was not her personal security.
I'm just going to tell my half of the story of what happened
I'm just going to lay in bed, barely awake with all my money, and just talk about how the kids are lying.
today with
This proves that Ronnie Radke is a nicer person than Chappelle Roan. Because he's actually kind to his fans.
mother and child who were involved with a security guard who is not my personal security. I didn't even see a woman and a child. Like, I did not, no one came up to me. No one bothered me. Like, I was just sitting at breakfast in my hotel. I think these people were staying at the hotel as well. So the fact that, like, a security guard I did not ask the security guard to go up and talk to this mother and child. I did not.
There's so many memes going around of this. Like, there's one of some stunt guy filming something, and he's holding a prop of a kid that he's like slamming into a wall, and it says Chaperone, and she sees an 11-year-old fan.
He did not come up to me. They weren't doing anything. It's unfair for security to just assume someone doesn't have good intentions when they have no reason to believe because there's no action even taken.
She went on to say that she doesn't hate her fans or children.
Anyone who dresses like that, I can't imagine that they'd be a shitty person.
Before apologizing for the encounter they experienced.
I do not hate people who are fans of my music. I do not hate children. Like, that is crazy. I'm sorry to the mother and child that someone was assuming something, that you would do something, and that if you felt uncomfortable, that makes me really sad. You did not deserve.
Didn't look like it. Did you see that fake little lip? She's like, you're making sad. What the fuck kind of shit response is that?
Plus, after the pop star released her video, Harding, who shares her daughter with ex-Jude Law, also entered the conversation.
I know that Chappelle has responded saying that it wasn't it wasn't her security and that she didn't do it. So 100% this security guard was not a security guard of the hotel.
She's hotter and sounds sexier, so I believe her. Sorry, that's how it works.
That's what I can say. He looks after artists. So I don't know if it was her personal security guard, but he was with her. So that is all I know. Did she send him to do it? Again, I don't know. Look, I would like to hope not, but at the same time, I think that you have a responsibility when you are a celebrity to make sure, I guess, that the people that work for you and that act on your behalf are acting on your behalf. So would he do that if he didn't have her authority to do so? I don't know. If he does, then obviously that's
just some random guy who fucking hates kids.
That's a big problem, because then he's representing her in a way that she doesn't want to be represented. So I think that's really important for her to notice and realize that's not correct. I was shocked, and I did actually say to him at the time, I said, well, if this is the case that she doesn't even want people to look at her, she is very welcome to eat breakfast in her room, because
I don't want to look at her either, so we're all in agreement here.
This here is a public area and I am a paying guest as well as her. So if I want to walk past someone's table and look at them, I have every right to do so. I am not approaching her. I'm not doing anything to make her feel intimidated or nothing. Like, this 11-year-old child.
Fuck them kids. So yeah, that's been a hilarious story meme going around. All of those memes are fucking great of how much she hates kids. I saw one I posted on Instagram. It was Chappelle Roan when 11-year-old fan comes up to her, and it's Anakin pulling out the lightsaber on the little kid. Hell yeah. Other topics. Actually, we do have another kind of crazy one to get into. Do you want the fun one or the crazy one? The fun topic or the crazy topic? Just some industry puppet insulting her fans' usual industry bullshit. Yep, that's all it is. That is all it is. Because there was a video of her where she was claiming she was getting harassed by fans who were asking her for an autograph. And she was like actually shaming them, doing a selfie video, saying that they wouldn't get out of her space. And I was trying to be fair. I really couldn't tell if it looked like a kid fan or if it was, a photo opportunity TMZ piece of shit. Because if I have no problem with artists telling photographers and media people to go fuck themselves. But yeah, when it's fans, that's very different. Anyway, let's talk about a fun, hilarious music story. Something that has brought the entirety of the country together. Something that I have seen both people on the left, people on the right, people on the far left, people in the middle, people who are into rap, people who are not into rap. Everybody has been talking about something not metal at all, but I do not give a fuck. The Afroman lawsuit. Of course, we're going to talk about this. If you think about it, it's kind of metal in a way, I guess, or not. I don't care. It's fun and hilarious. So, if you have not heard this story, then you don't go on the internet. And I wonder what the hell you do with your life. This has been what I've been laughing about for the last week or however long it's been going on for. The crowd goes wild. All the woo this man in the chat now. Everyone's like, yeah! All the metal talk was boring and had to get through their drama. Now we talk about the good shit. The Afroman. This is generally the fucking, the best story anyone's heard in a while. In such a dramatic year. Finally something that brought everyone together to laugh. And it's gangster, it's metal, it's punk, it's American. God damn it. Cheer this man. Cheer this man. So, I mean, do I even want to explain it? I feel like everybody already knows what happened. How about before we play the song, I'm going to play at least some of it. Because I've been playing them nonstop. I'm going to let YouTuber Atozi tell the story because he's going to do it better than I am. So for anyone who doesn't know, here's why everyone loves the Afroman right now.
Afroman just won a defamation lawsuit that will probably go down as one of the most outrageous court cases ever live streamed.
Can you tell me what fact about you that receding hairline or it refers to, please?
I'm sorry? Okay. So not only was this...
What? I didn't even see that part.
Defamation suit brought against him by the police, but all of the alleged defamatory posts only got more attention because of the spectacle and made the Adams County Sheriff's Department even more of a laughingstock than what it was before. Not to mention the clips of these officers on the stand being forced to repeat the rude names they were called over and over again makes it so much more funny. Like, it kind of feels like a comedy sketch at this point.
I wouldn't trust him with being alone in my house.
So
I find that pretty insulting.
That statement is what you're suing on.
Well, no. I told you this is one of many.
Well, and that's why we're trying to
You
find
keep trying to make it singular. I'm telling you, it's not singular, it's plural.
Okay, and so one of them is one is receding hairline.
Yep.
And the other is
start from the beginning.
Yes.
I'm sure they're all regretting most of the choices they made, because if they thought their reputations were damaged then they're probably going to want to join some sort of witness protection now.
Lisa, I'm sorry. I didn't know that hurt you like that.
Why isn't Cozy not starting at the beginning of the story?
Now, Afroman might not be a name you've heard in a while, but I'm sure
you haven't heard Afroman's name. You did not have a childhood in the early 2000s.
Sure, like most people, you've been seeing posts about the defamation lawsuit everywhere last week. It's like every third reel is him celebrating outside of the courthouse, or Officer Poundcake being forced to recount the mean names that hurt his feelings. I mean, this entire case is one of the dumbest and most petty cases I've seen in my entire life. But wow, was it entertaining. Because even though this trial has been coming for years, it definitely slipped under the radar until the clips of the courtroom live stream started circulating on social media. And if you've seen any of these clips, you would probably agree, how could they not?
Fact.
All right, I really thought that Atozi would actually mention why the lawsuit was happening first before just diving into it. Let me pull up one that actually explains it well. But we're going to laugh our asses off. Don't worry.
Amazing quote.
Legal mindset.
Afroman takes full victory in his case against the Adams County Sheriff. Do that today, and some hilarious clips from the trial, which absolutely are amazing on this video on the legal.
That's why someone said, what happened? I have zero idea. That's why I switched to this video. I know that this video is going to explain in detail the story here that you're going to find fucking hilarious. I'm also going to feed Rocket so he stops yelling at me.
Mindset, we teach you to be your own judge. Of course, is a fast facts video, the quick and dirty, the latest in the legal news. So let's get into the case real quick for a background and those that may or may not know. Obviously, we had the defendant here, Afroman Joseph Edgar Foreman, against the plaintiff, Adams County Sheriff. These are the parody depictions from one of Afroman's videos. We got Officer Poundcake, the Hunchback, Lickum Low Lisa, as she goes by, and all of those cast of characters that were coming against him after a raid on his house. His house was raided under suspicion of narcotics and kidnapping. They smashed his front door open, his gate. They searched his entire house. They took cash. They debatably took Poundcake, but they found no drugs, no kidnapping victims. And because that Afroman was reasonably upset, and because of that, he worked back and did something nonviolent, as we do, using his speech to parody the incompetence of law enforcement through parody videos he put up on his website. Now, after he used that surveillance footage to create parody videos and mock them, they decided to sue him for defamation. Now, we have a verdict in that case, and that case, as we can say, did not go well for the sheriffs.
It's been an emotional case. It's been a well-tried case. The lawyers did what they should do. The parties did what they should do. In all circumstances, the jury finds in favor of the defendant. No plaintiff verdict prevailed. It's been
that means complete Afroman victory on all counts. It goes to the defendant, that it's Afroman. Everything in his favor. Not a single officer prevailed against him. That is an absolute and complete Afroman W.
Black man completely embarrasses the police legally in America. Fuck yeah.
Now, one of the things is this trial provided some amazing and crazy music videos and clips, which were absolutely wild. And while he won in court, he won even bigger on social media, with this getting out all across all of the internet, X, everywhere else, the New York Post, TMZ. Everybody ended up covering this case. So even in instances where the officers themselves had not seen these videos, they were not only forced to watch them in court, as you'll see in a clip here in a second, but also now they're going to see these all across the internet. So here we're going to have a clip where this officer had actually not.
So if you're not keeping up, police raided rapper Afroman's house on suspicion of drug trafficking and kidnapping. There was nothing in his house at all. He was not charged for any crime whatsoever, but they did damage his property, and he did not like that. But instead of arguing with the cops, fighting with the cops, getting in a shootout with the cops, something that a lot of people would have done, he made joke parody songs about them that he posted online that have since become huge hits. The officers, the corrupt cops, by the way, sued him for defamation, and he completely won, not only winning against the cops, but those cops were made to watch the parody songs in court to their face. It's fucking hilarious. One of the parody songs about one of the officers is almost at 3 million views right now.
Not seen the video Lemon Pound Cake and now is forced to watch this in court.
Mr. Cooley, sorry, Sean, you were called Officer Pound Cake by Mr. Foreman?
Multiple times.
You were
received hundreds of pound cakes at work.
Hundreds.
And the context of that name comes from a music video that Mr. Foreman created, correct?
I don't know where he got it at, but
well, he's about to figure out. He's about to find out where Officer Pound Cake came from. And mind you, this is the defense playing the video for him, saying, hey, no, you're going to watch this and you're going to know where this came from because you need to know the origin of this and how it's complete parody and how this is something that is well protected by the First Amendment.
They found no kidnapping victims, just a living pound cake. Mama's living pound cake.
All these songs slap, by the way.
Classic. This is classic parody. Trying to sue over essentially what comes back to a donut joke. Hungry cops liking food, liking sweets. That's essential parody. That's essential humor. That's something everybody recognizes as humor. But this guy, to not even to take the position, the sheriff, that he had never seen the video, he didn't know about it, he had no idea where he got it from, no idea why he said that, having to play that out in front of him in court, not only in front of those people, but now in front of the entire internet, the entire world that now knows why this guy is called Officer Pound Cake, because he's a little hefty and he's eyeing that a little hungrily.
Yeah, so by trying to sue Afroman to basically get him to remove the songs, they blew him up way bigger than they ever would have been. And now for the rest of their lives, Officer Pound Cake is never going to get away from the song.
And thus the legend was proved in court. But the clips didn't stop there. There's even more ridiculous moments from the courtroom with the officers. The next one is one that I couldn't believe.
So you're claiming that is...
In one of the songs about this guy, Afroman jokes about fucking his wife. Watch what he says in court.
The defamation statement is that he said he had sex with your wife.
Yes.
Okay. And that's painted you in a false light.
It's caused tremendous pain in my life.
I'll get to that. We have to go through false light first. So does it paint you in a false light?
Yes, that my wife is cheating on me with Mr. Foreman.
But we all know that's not true, correct?
I don't know.
He doesn't know if his wife is cheating on him with Afroman? That look of genuine shock where he's like, I don't know whether my wife is... Well, you're claiming this is false, but now you're saying you don't even know if your wife is out there going and running off with Afroman in the middle of the night. You're actually this parody video injected doubt in this man. This is something I have never seen in a courtroom before. Genuine questions of marital fidelity over a rap video mocking and parodying this guy.
Not only is that fucking hilarious that the guy said in court that he doesn't know if his wife is fucking Afroman or not, which is already fucking hilarious. The entire point of a defamation is that you have to know that what they said isn't true. So by saying that he doesn't know, that ruins the entire point of it being defamation. That could leave it up in the air to, well, maybe it is true. I don't know. The entire point of defamation is that you know what they're saying is not fucking true. So not only did he just embarrass himself for being a fucking retard on the stand, he completely torched the case.
Absolutely. Once again, I've not seen clips like this and quotes like this from a case anywhere else, but it doesn't, once again, they don't stop there. Now we get into another clip where we're talking about one of the female officers.
Mr. Foreman posted that Lisa Phillips likes to have with other women. He used other words. She ate my ex-wife just like pizza.
I never thought I would hear she ate my ex-wife just like pizza in a courtroom. I never really thought I would hear that, really, ever. But here we are in the Afroman case.
Afroman verse is what we all need.
Eating, blah, 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 over and over, thousands of times on the internet. People saw it, people laughed, people from out of state, but people here in Adams County would sometimes yell at her when they saw her. Hey, Lisa Low Phillips, that was his nickname for her. Mr. Foreman posted.
So once again, this is classic parody. This is something that the defense attorney brought up when he's brought up the song WAP, saying, hey, look, rap lyrics are graphic. Songs are graphic. You don't often think that is actual literal reality. When you're going through those rap lyrics, when you're going through those songs, that's not reality. So the fact that you're embarrassed by some words in there, or those words offend you, or those words might be words you don't like, that doesn't equal liability. That doesn't necessarily equal defamation. That equals parody. That equals mocking. That equals public humiliation. That's not defamation or even false light, which is a different type of claim, which is allowed in Ohio, but not in some other states, that allows essentially a defamation-like claim, but for a false and misleading portrayal of someone. That's false light versus defamation. But in either case, it's neither one of those because it is simple hyperbole. It is simple artistic speech. And last but not least, we have another amazing quote from this case, which I think is probably the first time I've heard this in all of courtroom history.
In my opinion, I f***ed his wife dog style. He said it like they were facts.
I have to say, if I was in the courtroom when this went down, I would absolutely be losing it. I would not be able to hold it. Once again, these are rap lyrics. This is what people say. If you listen to rap, it's I effed your girl. I did this. I effed this girl, your sister, your cousin, whatever. That's normal. That's artistic speech. That's not something that is regulated. That's not something we...
Also, fuck those cops. They were very clearly corrupt police officers. It's not like they were actually doing their normal job and Afroman's just offended. No, he's 1000% in the right here. That's why it's so funny.
Find liability for some, but the plaintiffs, the Adams County Sheriff, decided to bring this case, and by bringing these cases and bringing this case and making these arguments and arguing that these statements were defamatory on live television broadcast around the world, now you're going to hear this even more. So the humiliation was actually increased by the fact that they brought this claim.
Like 1000%. Afroman's biggest hit since the early 2000s is making fun of these cops.
And if you look at Afroman's channel, you can see a lot of his videos were just pushed out in the last week or two. In fact, if this trial had not happened, many of those videos might not have come out at all. So let's get to my judgment. In judgment, this is a full victory of Afroman, completely clearing him of any liability, of any sort of accountability for this. This is not on him at all in any way. The judge laid that out there. The jury obviously came to a very clear and concise and decisive victory. So,
like, it's like I've never seen so many people all agreeing on this. This is like when the Tiger King came out and everyone was like, dude, that bitch definitely killed her husband. This is the same thing where everyone on every single political angle or whatever the fuck they're into all is loving Afroman right now with what he did here. Especially because, so, this is Afroman's new single right now. Randy Walters is a son of a bitch. This song was uploaded, I think, a day or two before this trial actually even started. And in 9 days, it is at 2.6 million views. So Afroman not only won the case, It publicly embarrassed those police officers, but is making an absolute shitload of money off of embarrassing those police officers. Wearing the same getup he wore in court. Welcome to the Summer Slapper of 2026.
Randy Walters is the son of a bitch. Yeah, that's why I fucked his wife and got filthy rich.
This video had to cost like $100 to make. It has almost 3 million views.
It's my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my video. It's my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my video. It's my dough. Stop stealing my dough.
Someone asked, how's it cost $100? He had to buy a new camera. They broke it.
Stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting my video. It's my dough. Stop stealing my dough. Stop disconnecting
They played this in court to the guy's face.
my video. If you're pressing charges, let me know. If there's no kidnap victims, let me go. Stop cutting off my video. Listening to that unconfidential hoe. Crooked Popo. Randy Walters is the son of a bitch.
Can I play the whole thing? I better not get copyrighted by Afroman for this song.
Yeah, that's why I fucked his wife and got filthy rich.
Yeah. All right. Someone commented in the chat. This is who did Because I Got High. He made millions and millions and millions of dollars after rapping about being high in the early 2000s. And then his next hit is this song. Yes, Afroman is the one who did Because I Got High. And he just did the greatest troll embarrassment of corrupt police that America has ever seen. If in 2028, I am voting Afroman with 50 Cent and Cat Williams. That's my political party.
Randy Walters is so rotten. He's hooked on coke and Oxycontin.
They played this in court.
In Manchester long ago, he owed a drug dealer lots of dough. He tried to run like
so fucking amazing, dude. Afroman just got the greatest revenge against police ever. There's also this one. I'm gonna do this.
Mine eyes seen the corruption of the Adam County cops, stealing money, stealing cake. When they make they traffic stops, first they screw you, then they sue you, play games and dismiss your claims. The proof's on the internet. Afroman will bring it to ya. Afroman is gonna do.
This is the new national anthem. I'll vote for Afroman right now.
Yeah. Afroman is is gonna screw ya. My proof's on the internet. Mine eyes have seen informants get busted with felonies. Tell the cops I'm a kidnapper and I sell a lot of keys. Raid my house and then...
That's the thing, too. Like, for people who don't know about Afroman, he was never like a gangster, violent, shoot 'em type of rapper. He was always just like partying, having fun, and getting high. He lives, you know, he has a spacious yard and a gate out somewhere. He doesn't live like in the hood doing shit.
And get pissed, cause the dungeon don't exist. My proof's on the internet. Afroman will bring it to ya. Afroman is gonna do ya.
All right, and then this was the main one. 7 million views. Massive shout out to Afroman, the greatest story of the year, most certainly. Can't wait till Afroman is headlining the whiskey. I'm sure he probably has. If he hasn't announced a tour, he absolutely has to. My God, it's the most popular he's been since Jay and Silent Bob came out. That would be a great show. That would be a lot of fun. Genuinely peak faux president. Yeah. Faux pro. Something like that. That's a tongue twister. Yeah, that shit was fucking hilarious. We needed that type of pick me up in the world, you know? There's hope out there. And looking at the chat. Oh, fuck. Rocket went to sleep. People are talking about fucking Justin Timberlake for some reason. I don't know why. Jay and Silent Bob is a great movie. Man, Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back, fucking that song Because I Got High. I remember when those came out, I was like 13 and I thought they were hilarious and I loved them and I was quoting them all the time. And I did not understand even half of what the fuck they were talking about. All these drug and sex references, and I was like, this is fun. Man, guys like Afroman make the world a better place. I'm telling you, we should have President Afroman, Director of the FBI, 50 Cent, and Secretary of Commerce, Cat Williams. I think it'd be perfect. You know who I really thought should have been president? Obviously, they're dead now, but the president America deserves was Bernie Mac. 1,000%. I would have made Bernie Mac president. America needs that kind of no-nonsense black father that will whoop your ass with a switch if you don't do your fucking homework. Ever since Bernie Mac and Lemmy died, the world went to shit. There's no point in being around anymore. We just get AI garbage and slop. Anyway, that is pretty much everything I wanted to cover here on the podcast today, unless there's more breaking news that I didn't see while I was on here ranting. I have a lot more. I got to finish up my Live Nation Files video, which is next. It's almost done, but I've been like translating all of those fucking leaked messages between the employees. So, I mean, that definitely be up before like Monday at the latest, I would say, but hopefully sooner than that. I think the writing and research is kind of the hardest part of this one in particular. I agree. Bernie was the go. He absolutely was. America went to shit when we stopped hearing him just go, America, quit fucking around. I guess he doesn't know Justin Timberlake got busted on tour drunk driving. He does that a lot. It's a very common. It's like Justin Timberlake went on tour. Cool. How much time did you spend in the drunk tank this time? That motherfucker's been tripping for a while. Wyatt, when that song came out, the Because I Got High song, Me and the bros rolled a spliff like 4 feet long, hanging out the car window, driving around our village in the UK. Good times. Wish I was 16 again. That was illegal, sir. That was very not good behavior. How dare you? How long is the Live Nation Files vid gonna be? I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm trying to not make it that long. Fucking 30 minutes is probably gonna be roughly what it is, but I'm trying to cut out the fat and make it as presentable while covering everything. I didn't want to just do a typical, what they said here is stupid. Anyway, like I'm breaking down their whole scheme. Anyway, Sharon says Vakken metal bands are happening. Go support your local bands, people. Support local bands that Live Nation doesn't have their hands in yet. Exactly. Anyway, I think that's pretty much it for this episode of the Wyatt's Metal Podcast. A lot of fun. Thanks to Afroman and thanks to the Crooked Police for giving everyone great content. Very much fun. Yeah, keep an eye out for the Live Nation Files coming soon. Check out my recent videos that have all not been doing that great in the YouTube algorithm, the metal bands who appeared in video games, and whatever else I talked about. But besides that, lots more coming very soon. Have a good week, everybody. And enjoy Trevor going to see Dark.
To your thighs and belly.
Like I care.